So I definitely recommend the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the color Original. So this is definitely a must if you want a high-end primer. So another one is, all of these are from Urban Decay also, and all of these come when you purchase one of their palettes. So if you purchase any of the Naked palettes from Urban Decay, you get a full set of all of these primers for you to sample on. So there's a few. So there's the Urban Decay Original one, which is the primer potion that I just showed you. And then there's a Sin one, which is a champagne shimmer. So it's like this shimmery primer, which is perfect when you're already going to add glitter, I'd say. Like, it blends better and it gives you more of a glitter effect. Then there's the anti-aging nude. So if you have feel like you have like wrinkles on your eyes or whatever, that's supposed to help you and help you from getting wrinkles. And yeah, there's like, so it comes with those and then the original one. So if you, and Eden, which is the long-lasting eyeshadow base, and I've tried that one too. That one's really good. So all of these come in when you purchase one of the Urban Decay Naked palettes. So yeah, it's kind of a plus. And then another high-end one would be the Bare Minerals Prime Time. This is also like a nudish color that you put on your eyelid. This works really good also. I do like it, but by far Urban Decay has like the best primer, I'd say. And then another one is, I just tried this. It's the MAC Prep and Prime. This is in the color Natural Radiance. It's like this light shimmery pink, like nudish color, and it leaves your eyelids super soft and the colors go on really good. So I really like this one too. And now for drugstore. One of the drugstore ones that I like, by far, NYX products. Like, NYX has lots of primers for your eyes. They have like variety of different colored ones and liquid ones and cream ones. I really like this one, the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. This is in the color Milk. So it's this white cream base. And the color with white, one thing that white's really good for is when you put white and you're using like all these other vibrant colors, like really bright colors or just like darkish colors, if you want to make them stand out more, I'd recommend the white, because it'll just it'll pop out more is what I'm trying to say. So definitely recommend that for drugstore. Another one that I like is the Hard Candy Strobing Glow. This is kind of like a illuminator for like, it's like a moisturizer for like foundation and stuff, but I like to use this as primer, and it's also like this shiny pigmented liquid primer, and my eyeshadow goes on super good with this, so I absolutely recommend this as a drugstore one. And Hard Candy has other they have other primers that are really good, and NYX does too. And I've used the e.l.f. primers, and I didn't really like it, but I mean, you can try those out too. Those are pretty cheap. Another thing with eyeshadow is you want to make sure that your eyebrows are like really cleaned up. I feel like if your eyebrows are cleaned up, like down here on the bottom, it makes your eyes pop out more and bring more attention to your eye makeup when you do that, when you have nice clean underneath eyebrows, especially when you add concealer under your eyebrows, because it really gives you that pop and it brings attention to here and then down here, so people notice your eyes more. And another good primer that you can use is concealer. Any type of concealer that you use, just pop it onto your eyelids, and that's a really good base that you don't have to go spend money on, because you already have the concealer, you know, if you wear concealer. Another good step with like primers is setting your primer with powder. I like to set mine with the Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is in the color Original. You can get this at like CVS, Walgreens, or Walmart. It's pretty cheap. It's like $3 or $4, and it's quite a bit of powder. So I like to set my eyeshadow with this, and this just prevents creasing of your primer to happen, and it also has the colors go on better. And that's a drugstore one. So one of the high-end ones that I do use is the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. This is in the color Original. So it looks like that. It's like this light pink powder that I also use to set my primer. So that's what it is. Another high-end powder product to set your primer is the Makeup Forever Professional Paris in the color HD. It's the high definition powder. So this is just like a little sample that I have. This is also really good for setting your primers on your eyelids. One good tip when doing your eyeshadow, lots of eyeshadows have lots of fallout, and what I mean by that is when you're applying it, the eyeshadow is so pigmented that it falls down to the rest of your face. So one step I'd recommend is to do your eye makeup first and then do the rest of your full-on face makeup, because you can just wipe it off and then put on your foundation and everything else that you do to your face after. I learned this because I used to do my face makeup first and then my eyes, and I always had eyeshadow falling all the way down when my face is already done, and I have to like wipe it off and redo my face makeup. So yeah, definitely recommend if you're using really pigmented eyeshadows that you know have lots of fallout, I definitely recommend to do your eyes before doing the rest of your face. And another good tip with eyeshadow, so you can have like straight eyeshadow and so both of your eyes are even, like the eyeshadows, I definitely recommend tape. Like, it's always good to use tape when doing your eye makeup. This is definitely a go-to, and you can get tape anywhere. It's pretty cheap. So I'd recommend putting tape and lining it up. I'll show you guys how to do it. This is one thing that I like. And another thing that I like that's really good are the shadow shields. So what they are, I'll show you. It's like these little shields that you put under your eyes. So you put them under your eyes and they go all the way up, so they give you that defined line like tape would, except they have like little shields down here that captures all the eyeshadow that falls off. So they get like filled with eyeshadow, and then when you're done doing your eye makeup, you rip them off and you have a super straight line and no eyeshadow down here. So I absolutely love these. You can get them at Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens, any drugstore store that's like around you. I'm sure you can find them. And they're usually 14 eyeshadow shields for like $4. Like, definitely worth it. So here, that's what it looks like when you put it in. Another thing I want to mention with eyeshadow are the brushes. I definitely recommend you to get some good brushes. Like, you don't need to go all out for these like high-end brushes, I feel, for eyeshadow. But one of the main brushes that I feel like you should go all out and get the best brush that you possibly can is a blending brush, because blending is the main part of eyeshadow. Regardless of whatever type of eye look you do, blending is key. You always want to blend, make sure there's no harsh lines and that both eyes are even and it's not like patchy. So blending is definitely key in eyeshadow. So I definitely recommend getting a really good blending brush. This is by far my favorite blending brush. This is from ColourPop. It's $8, super cheap. That's another brand that has really good eyeshadows for you to get your hands on. ColourPop. Another blending brush that's really good for like beginners and starters, because this is the blending brush that I started off with, is the blending brush from e.l.f. e.l.f. has lots of brushes that you can get your hands on. They're like $1 each. Some are $3, super cheap. So if you want to get cheap eyeshadow brushes, I definitely recommend you to get e.l.f. brushes. You can get them at Target or Walmart. That's usually where they sell them, and they're like $1 to $3, but their blending brush is actually pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna start off by priming our eyes. I'm going to be using the Hard Candy and Strobing Glow eyeshadow primer. So you just want to get a little bit, like that much, and apply it to your eyelid with your finger. You can use a brush for this, but I like to use my finger. And you're just going to apply it all the way on top, close to your eyebrows. Now we're going to be taking tape. What I like to do with tape, since it's so sticky and your eyes are like really sensitive like on these areas, I like to rip a piece off that's pretty long, and then I like to put it on the back of my hand, just so it's not as sticky when I put it on my eyelids. So then I just rip it off. And the way you want to put your tape is you want to line it from right here to the end of your eyebrow. So you don't want to bring it up here, you don't want to bring it all the way out here. You want to line it from the end of your eye, right here, of your eyelashes, all the way to the end of your eyebrow, so you know both sides of your eyes are even. So I'm just gonna put it right here and put it at the end of my eyebrow, like that. And then you just want to double check and make sure that both sides are even. And if they're not, you can just take the tapes off and readjust them. The palette I am going to be using is the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette. Absolutely love this. I'm going to be using this to teach you how to apply eyeshadow like a pro. So the first thing I want to start is with my blending brush, of course, because the main thing we're going to be doing, you're going to see me tell you repeatedly, is to blend, and you're going to see me blending a lot because that's the main thing to eyeshadow, is blending everything. So I want to start off with like basic eyeshadow to teach you guys. So one thing I'd recommend, so for this part of your eye right here, the part that you see when your eye is closed is called your transition color. So I feel that all transition colors should be like this light color that you can really blend out, you know, with other like dark colors, bright colors that you're going to be putting on your eye depending what type of eye look you're trying to do. So I recommend using neutral colors for the transition color. I feel like it just makes your eyes pop, and it makes your eyeshadow look very blended and not as patchy and not harsh looking. I feel like neutral colors are really good for transition colors. So for example, some colors from this palette that I would use as a transition color would be that one. It's like this nudish color. Or even that one. I'd use that as a transition color. And maybe even that one, because it's pretty light. You just have to do it really, really light and not add so much product. So definitely I'd go with the light colors as your transition color, and then use these dark colors like that one, that one, that one, and that one. All these dark colors over here as your outer color, because that's going to be your outer shade. You want all the outer colors over here to be dark. So that's where you put the dark colors, are over here, because then you blend them into your transition color, so it gives you like this ombre effect, and you're not using that harsh dark color as your transition color because your eyes are, it's just not going to look pretty. So I definitely recommend neutrals as your transition color, and leave all the dark colors on the outer like corner of your eyes, and use pigmented nude colors, whatever other color, on the inner corner of your eyes. So that's basic eyeshadow looks, is to use neutrals, darks on the outside, and inner. That's like an everyday look that you can create with multiple colors, and that's usually how I do my makeup, is those 3 steps, just with different variety of colors with different palettes. So if you do these steps like all the time, with every time that you do your eyeshadow, you're gonna have perfect blended eyeshadow and different looks that you're creating all the freaking time. So definitely it's gonna help you out. Another tip is when you highlight your eyebrow, that's definitely a good tip, is to highlight your eyebrow, because that's gonna make your eye makeup pop out more, and it's also gonna make your eyebrow pop out more. So the colors that you want to use underneath your eyebrows are neutral, light, shimmery colors. You can use shimmer if you want to add like some glow under there, or matte shimmery colors. So for eyebrows on this palette, I'd use that color, or even that one, or that one. All these 3 neutrals right here I'd use underneath to make my eyebrow pop and give that underbrow color right there. So I'm going to start off with this neutral color right here as my transition color. So I'm just going to grab some of that. Let me zoom you in. And you're just going to start right here on the outer part and blend right there. Very lightly. You don't want to hold your brush right here. You want to hold your brush kind of at the end. Like if you're barely holding it, because if you have like a good grip of your brush like this, you're just going to make your eyeshadow's going to look really harsh because you're pushing it really hard. And see right here, I'm like brushing it very lightly. So I like to focus right here, and then I'll slowly bring it in. So you want to go back and forth like this. What I also like to do is I like to move my brush in a circular motion like this. and doing that back and forth. So that definitely helps you blend, but definitely the back and forward motion and then that circular motion. I like to do these steps and just alternate them just to make sure that my eyeshadow is very blended. And one thing I like to do with my eyeshadow is I like to do one eye and then do the other eye. So do each color on each eye after I'm not there. I feel like that way you know that both eyes are going to match, instead of doing one eye and doing everything you're going to do to that eye and doing it to the next eye. I feel like it's easier for you to see the difference and make sure that they match, just like that. So that's your transition color. So that's the first step to any eyeshadow look. As you can, one thing with dark colors on the outer corner, you can use like this type of brush. See, it's pretty dirty, like these thick looking brushes, but I also recommend using your blending brush, actually having a few blending brushes, because since I'm going to use this blending brush, I'm going to go back with a different like blending brush that has no product to make sure everything's blended and I'm not adding any more product. But I definitely recommend doing your outer corner, because this is like the hardest part to blend, is putting those dark colors on the outer part. I definitely recommend using a blending brush for that. So I'm going to take the same blending brush on a different side, and I'm going to be using this reddish color right there. And when you grab eyeshadow, you want to make sure and tap it, because you see all that fallout. Instead of that falling from your eyes when you're putting it on, it saves you some of the fallout. So it's better to tap it and start little by little, and then just keep adding on until you get the type of look that you want. So we're just gonna put this right here, and the way I like to do it is just moving it in a circle and focus right here. So I'm just gonna blend in a circle and bring it in a little bit on my eyelid, but mainly in a circle. So you just want to keep doing that. And the more you do that, you see the color really blending, and you see the color lifting up into your transition color and into your crease. So this part right here where your eyelid creases, that's your crease right there. So you just want to blend, circular motion. And then I like to slowly go right here and lightly bring it to like the inner part of my eye. Brush, I'm gonna go back with that neutral color right here and just grab a little bit, tap the excess off, and we're just gonna go on top and blend in with that red that we added to help it blend better. Now I'm just gonna take another blending brush with no extra product, so there's nothing on there, and I'm just gonna blend some more and blend both colors together, blending our outer color with our transition color and making sure that there's no harsh lines. A flat brush, and I'm going to put it into this light neutral color right here, and we're gonna tap the excess off, and this is going to be our brow highlight. So we're just gonna put it under our brows like that. And I like to bring the color in right here and drag it out to make our eyebrows really pop. This neutral shimmery color right there, tap the excess off and add it on top, just to give us that underneath brow highlight. I like to do this part just underneath right here where you can mainly notice it. Eye look that you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with that red just because I want the outer color to stand out a little more. I'm taking my blending brush and we're just going to dip it in there, grab a little bit more, tap the excess off, and do the same thing we just did. So you're going to blend, circular motion right here. highlight. So now for the inner part that really makes your eye pop. For this part, I really like to add shimmery colors because I feel that makes your eyes stand out more, and who doesn't love glitter? So for this, I'm going to take this goldish color, and you can apply this with a small brush, like a small flat brush. You can apply this with like a small flat brush like this, or one step that I really recommend doing that really gets that color on your eye and really makes it pop is using your finger. So I like to use my finger. So I'm just gonna dip my finger into that gold color and apply it on my eyelid like that. So you can see the color. I don't know why, but using your finger like really gets the color on your eyelid and makes it pop out more better than using a brush. I do go back with the brush to make sure it's blended just because my finger is like a lot bigger than my eyelid, so I do add quite a lot and it looks pretty harsh at first, but I go back in with a brush to really blend it in. So you can apply as much as you want depending on how much you want your eye to pop. I really want my eye to pop, so I'm gonna add quite a few layers of it. Back in with that blending brush that we used the red and the neutral color, and I'm just gonna go back on my outer red color and blend that color in with the gold. So it doesn't look harsh and it's perfectly blended to create that like ombre effect, and I'll go back with my finger and help blend it more. We're gonna take the tapes off, so you're just gonna start from the bottom and rip it off and then to the other eye. So as you can see, both eyes are perfectly even, and I really don't like that straight line. I know some people might, but I don't. I feel like it's kind of harsh. So what I like to do is I'll take my the blending brush that I was using to blend. So I'm just gonna take this and buff it out on the sides just so the line doesn't look as harsh. This look with the tape does look a lot better when you add a wing liner to this look. And falsies, of course, but I just wanted to add mascara. It was easier. So I don't know if you can really tell, but I have fallout of eyeshadow all underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a makeup wipe and I'm just going to wipe all of that off. Okay, so how to do your under eye makeup. One thing I like to do or would recommend is to use the dark color that you used on your eye makeup on top on the outer corner of your eye, and then using the neutral color that you use as your transition color to blend it out so it doesn't look as harsh, and then using the color that's on your lid as like the inner color right here. Using a big brush so it doesn't look really harsh and like a lot of product there. So one thing that you can do with this, with like any palette that you're using, is you can use that brow highlight that I used up here as your inner corner highlight. So I'll go ahead and show you. So I'm using that brow highlight, which is this one. Tap the excess off and you're just gonna blend it right there in a circular motion and bring it in and buff it up. So I'm not dragging it up, I'm moving it in a circular motion right here on my outer corner and slowly blending it into my eyeshadow. But you can see that glow, right? That just makes your eyes pop out more and it makes your eyeshadow look a lot better. I absolutely love this step and recommend it for any eye look. So typically you'd use the shimmery color that you use on your brow if you choose to use a shimmery color, but it's usually a neutral color that you want to put for your inner highlight. You don't want to put a dark harsh color or a bright color. It's just not going to look pretty. This is meant to be shimmery to really make your eye pop, and it needs to be neutral and a very light color. So you can use this from like a palette, or what I like to do and recommend also is to use a highlight color. So any type of highlighter that you put on your face. So for example, I'm going to take my Anastasia Glow Kit. This is my all-time favorite color for inner corners. Is I use this one. It's in the color Sunburst. It's this light yellowish color. So I'll show you. Grab a little bit of it, tap the excess off, and I'm going to do it on the other eye. This is my all-time favorite highlight color. Like, look at that. They look pretty similar, but this color goes with a lot of eye looks. I use it for like every eye look that I do. So definitely recommend using any highlighter that you have. Also, you can use it as a inner corner highlight. Very helpful tip when doing your eyeshadow and applying mascara is sometimes you'll get mascara on your eyelids, on your eyeshadow that you just took forever blending out and creating, so you get really upset. And instead of trying to go back with the blending brush, that works only sometimes, but the key thing to use is a Q-tip, a dried Q-tip. So you wait for the mascara to dry for a little bit because you don't want it to still be wet and then rub the Q-tip on there because you're just going to smudge it and completely ruin all of your eyeshadow. But if you wait for a couple of seconds and let it dry and go in with this bad boy, your eyeshadow will look absolutely perfect, like nothing happened. Okay guys, so that is our basic eyeshadow lesson. So I hope you guys really learned something from this video and follow my tips that I gave you using the neutrals, the dark colors, and the shimmery colors, and where to place them on your eye to create a variety of eye looks that make your eyes really pop out and actually get people to notice your eyeshadow and how well you blended and get recognized for it. So I hope you guys really learned something from me, and sorry if you can see parts of my faces have foundation and some don't. It's because I used the makeup wipes when I was showing you. But yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications so you can get notified for the next episode of Makeup for Beginners. Ready? And follow me on Instagram to watch mini tutorials that I've been making. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week.